Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing? I'm guessing that football season is over, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Hey, the Black Barbie. Hey, Stangy. What's up, Stangy? Hey, Clarinetta. How is everybody doing up in here tonight? Hey, GDLV, Blackout, Gina, Positive Vibes. How is everybody doing? Y'all know it is political season in Memphis, and I mean, the wolves are out. Okay, they are out to try and suck the blood out of the Memphians. Okay, they're out with their lies and their fake promises. A lot of people, and how they're consistently selling out the children over there at the school board. And hey, Davin, just a lot of shit that they're doing that we need to talk about. Also, y'all, they I think I was looking at Blackwood News today. I think two people were killed. Two people lost their lives, I believe, either last night or early this morning. And then y'all see DJ Vlad has been posting stuff about Jayz. I think people are trying to. Some people are saying that Vlad is being sarcastic and it's a joke and all of that. I don't know. Everybody is trying to pimp Memphis. You know why? Because they've been getting away with it for so long. They've been getting away with it for so long. Memphis is very resourceful. You know what I think about Stan G? That you got a lot of people doing Memphis just like they do Africa. They keep the people in Africa broke, busted, disgusted, sick. When all of the gold, all of the minerals, everything is over there in Africa. And you got all those Africans living on that land, and so they keep them sick. They try to keep them uneducated. Uh, they just keep them downtrodden, so that they can't rise up and realize what is going on. And you have people, foreigners and stuff, going over there, marrying the African women so that they can buy the land. You know, so that they can hijack and buy the land, and the women would marry them because they're so poor, right? What's up, Diane? Because they're so poor. But we're gonna talk about some of this stuff tonight because I think it's a darn shame what has been going on. Okay, what has been going on? I wish that I should have asked a couple more people to get on here and talk about. Hold on, let me. As a matter of fact, y'all hold on. Let me see if I can pull some rabbits out of my hand. Where my phone at? Hold on. Let me send a message. We normally, okay, it's been 5 minutes. Okay. You guys, I want to talk about y'all want to start with, let's start with Vlad exposing Jay-Z. Okay, and then we're going to get into these murders in Memphis and the crooked politics and how it is election season. And we see a lot of people are coming out of the Woolsworth to pull the wool over the eyes of the Memphians. And what we got to do is we got to get out and get registered. Okay. Me, myself, I'm thinking about having a registration drive. I've even been thinking about entering a race. Okay. And even if I didn't win and I wouldn't get it, I don't get into nothing to lose because all I do is win. Right. I know for me, I would be funding myself. Okay. I probably would go if I was going to get some funding, probably like to small businesses, and not big businesses because I'm not going to be bought out before I get in there. I think about how doxal we see a lot of these black politicians are. They already sold out before they get in, and I'm thinking about having a registration drive and getting out and getting the people motivated, and then getting into a position and then changing some stuff up. I think what's needed is some strong people. Okay. Strong people. But here's the thing, when people get out there and put themselves on the front line and they're not bought out, they have a lot of opposition, right? They have a lot of opposition. And so what has to happen is the Memphians have to support that person. Okay. Now, let's talk about Vlad right quick. Okay, we're gonna get into talking about Vlad. Vlad has been posting, okay? He's been posting some stuff about Jay-Z and Meg the Stallion and all of that, right? Now, some people are saying that they don't believe Vlad. They believe that Vlad is playing, but I wonder why he would post something like that. Um with the type of audience that he has. What is it? DJ Vlad VLAD, or is it Vlad TV? Okay, here it is. With the type of audience that Vlad has, and he's pinned it up on his page, and he said this may be my last post. Okay, now, um, Vlad says, I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory, and they bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about bullet fragments. She was never shot. The LA police are all on Jay's payroll, and it doesn't stop with LA, but you're not ready to hear that. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know. The 3 Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal all paid off by Rock Mafia. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory. Even though it's a state's case, Trump can only pardon federal cases. But knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. I can't keep these lies secret anymore. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. Now, people are saying that maybe Vlad is being sarcastic. I don't know, just reading it. He could be, a lot of folks are saying that he's being sarcastic. They don't necessarily believe it. But why would Vlad, with over 1 million followers, right, not come back? He posted this 19 hours ago. So why he got 1 million followers? Why hasn't Vlad come back and said, this is a joke? Okay. Why hasn't he at least said that, that this is a joke, and um, you know, all of that? Why post that at all? I'm sure that Vlad's vlog is as big as it is because he has a lot of people that pay him to put shit out there, okay? To kind of slant things, not to talk about certain things. What's up? Justice for Doll. Justice for Dolph. No, Justice for Dolph. I won't be taking any money from any big businesses at all. I would love for the citizens to donate a dollar. Every citizen donate a dollar so that we can put signs out, so that we can. I don't want to give all my ideas out because a lot of people watch me because they had already heard, that I had been talking about it, that people had basically asked me to do it. And so I don't necessarily want to put all my ideas out there so that they can steal them, because the Memphians, they steals. They like to steal ideas and shit. Excuse my French. I have to watch how I talk because they be scared of a sister that ain't bought and paid for, right? And that's why I say what we have to do is, like my dad used to say, we have to vet our own people. Get somebody that is not going to sell you out, that is strong enough, and then you have to put the money behind them. And that's the only way things are going to start to turn around. Okay. That's the only way that that's going to happen. Okay. But we're gonna talk about that in a minute. And so, but Vlad has put that, okay, into the atmosphere. And it makes me wonder, do you all think that Vlad is joking? I want to know what you all think. Do you all think that Vlad is joking or no? What do you all think? Because it's been 19 hours. Black Barbie says Vlad did go on his channel and say that he was just trolling. Some of it may have been trolling, but I believe he said what he said for right, because he has not taken it down. I don't like him, and like, it's something about him. I didn't watch him. If he says he can be bought, that means Tory folks could have bought him. So do you all think that they threw Tory up under the bus? Do y'all think that Tory guy, that they threw him up under the bus? Nola says the truth always come out in a joke, right? Because he has not taken it down. Now what they're saying is he kind of went at Justice for Stan G says the truth is coming out, and Justice for Dow says Vlad is running a play for Jay per usual to distract from heinous accusations Jay-Z facing. So if he was sarcastic, he is trying to make it like it's all a conspiracy. And Stan G says that's why some so big. And the Black Barber says, and why would he joke about something like that with Jay-Z? Remain in all kinds of alleged trouble. Let me ask y'all something. Y'all know that people love Nas. Some people love Nas way more than they love Jay-Z. Why do you all think that we have not really, other than Khalees putting his name and stuff, why do you all think that Nas has not really been in scandals as much as Jay-Z? And at one time, Nas was like Jay-Z's competition. But I don't think, or and probably still is, I don't really think that Jay-Z has always went to people and blocked his competition. I don't think he's been able to block Nas. Why do you all think that? What's up, Snake Spotter? George said he's a double agent because he did not sell out. Hey, Sinlu. Justice for Dow says because Nas is a solid guy, not sold himself to Clive and similar creeps. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't mean no harm, and I'm not saying that it's anything wrong with this. But now remember, y'all, like in the very like years ago before Jay-Z was real big, people act like they forget about those rooms. But see those magazines, like Word Up magazine and stuff, people forget about. That's how we used to learn about stuff in in the old days, okay, in those antiquated days, right? And in the olden days rather. And so remember Jay-Z was living with that football player that played for I believe he played for the New York Jets or Giants or something. His name, what was that guy's name? And people said that they lived together and they was going together. Was his name Andre? What was that guy's name that Jay-Z was living with? Help me out, Justice for Dog. Nola Girl says, when Clarence Avant died, Jay wanted Larry Johnson. Absolutely. Nola Girl says, when Clarence Avant died, Jay wanted to be the next Black Godfather. I don't know. I don't know if people are paying attention, but it seems like to me that Jay-Z's popularity is starting to, I don't know, simmer. And I think Jay-Z's popularity would have been simmer if Beyonce wasn't bringing in the powers that be so much money. Okay, they can't get to him. They can't get around her right now. I don't think that they want him bad enough to hurt themselves with all of the money that she's putting in a lot of people's pocket. Okay, with her tours and all of that. She is definitely a money machine. So they're not able to walk him down. They can't go around her. Not at this point. Now, if she was to ever divorce him or file for a divorce or something like that, that'll be it. Or she have some, or something happen where she's not selling any music, but they put her in a position where she's definitely acquired. Although, I mean, she's definitely iconic. Okay, they have put her in that position. So she's had a steady career for almost 30 years. So how do you distinguish that? Right? You can't. So yeah. Nola Girl says only 49ers and some East Coast praise. Jay-Z, he's nothing in the South. Well, not in New Orleans, anyways. Hey, Joy Loves God. Well, I want for Vlad to come back and say that he was trolling. Maybe maybe he's just clout chasing that bad, but Vlad is one of those bigger vloggers that is able to make as much money as he's make off of the sponsorship of a lot of these record execs, right? They pay him to slant stories to get people caught up. Because when he started bringing people down there and asking them all of those police questions, okay, I mean, you never know who has paid him to get a person there to get them indicted. Maybe, you never know. You never know. I don't know. Um, so or well, let me just say this. A lot of times, I mean, all they have to do is If they know that they're on paper, they're looking at charges, they don't have to go down there and see Vlad, because one thing I can say about an interviewer, I don't they're gonna ask the questions that people want to hear. They're gonna ask those questions. And it's funny to me, everybody saw what Keefe D did to himself. Keefe D got himself by going on the Art of Dialogue. What did he ever go on Vlad? I don't know if I ever saw Keefe D on Vlad, but I definitely saw him on the Art of Dialogue. He talked himself into that indictment for some money. And I bet the money ain't even enough to pay for his attorneys. So they said Beyonce ain't Jack because she has stopped plenty of female. Oh yeah, she did it, and the machine behind Beyonce did it. They would sign a lot of pretty girls. That was the total package that could sing way better than Beyonce. This is what they would do. They would sign them anything that was like competition to her, and then they would shelve them, put them in contracts, and then put them on the shelf. That is how they were able to. That's why, there was really never any competition for Beyonce, right? Now, Rihanna, I do believe that Rihanna was having a relationship with Jay-Z. I just think that Rihanna and Beyonce's relationship is awkward. I think that she was having a relationship with Jay-Z, and he fell in love with her, and he promoted her. He made her almost as big as he made his wife, right? And maybe there had to be some ultimatums. So you don't really see Rihanna really singing and stuff anymore. Now she's like having babies, and she's got her Fenty company. They said she's made almost $1 billion or something. So she's, she don't really have to perform and stuff anymore. She's wanted to have those babies and stuff. But he made her as big as he made his wife. Okay. And if you think about it, Rihanna's voice ain't hitting on shit either. Okay. Just like Beyonce's ain't, right? Because it was plenty of girls that could sing Beyonce up under the table. But Beyonce is a really good entertainer. She's a very good entertainer, and I could, she goes hard. We can't take that from her. But as far as singing, she can hold a note, but it's other people that could sing way better than Beyonce, right? It's a lot of people that could sing way better than her. And so these are the tactics that they have used in the music industry for so long. And I'm going to tell y'all something, y'all. It seems like the house is crumbling down. Like these practices has gone on for so long. The internet is undefeated. When they would, do these things to these artists and stuff, okay, they would do a lot of this stuff to these artists. They would, hey, they paid the magazines. They had a budget for the magazines. So we saw them in Word Up magazine, Sister to Sister. That was one of my favorite magazines. Janie and them, that's who owned the magazine. The way that they made millions of dollars was by these artists paying them to be on the front page, to be inside of the magazine and write positive things about them, right? And so that's all we saw. We'd be in the grocery store and begging our mamas and stuff to buy these magazines. The TV, hey, they had the media bought out. Okay. So we love looking at TV, the award shows. These are the people that was put in front of us. Unfortunately, a lot of people idolize these folks. So we didn't get the opportunity to really know about what is going on. Now we're in the age and day of the internet, and any damn fool that's big enough to be a damn fool can get on the internet. Okay. And talk their stuff. Now these people that they wrote off, that they silenced, because a way to, what they do is they just black them out. You just don't see them no more. Nobody messes with them. They leave them broke, busted, and disgusted, and then they threaten them. So these people go away and go to the nursing school and get a CNA licenses. Okay, nobody knows what happened to these pretty girls and these handsome young men. Okay, and so now with the internet, a lot of this stuff is coming out, and I don't think that Jay-Z and them, they was trying to control it, but I think it's gotten bigger because when you try and control what people put out, once they, make their presence known, like what Tasha K did um on the internet. Hey, they can go get their own website now. You can't stop that. You can pay YouTube to try and stop stuff. And folks say, okay, well, we're gonna just go get our own website. We built up our fan base. And so you can come to my website and make money. So YouTube and them said, wait a minute, Instagram and all of them, they was Yo God. Look at how Yo Gotti and them were taking down like Snoop bands and them having Instagram and them to take down Snoop bands and them pages. Now you have all of these real popular sites that are coming up. Folks even going on back to Facebook, right? And so what happens is when these people start to move off of these platforms because you want to silence them, okay, or you want to monitor what they say about certain people, okay, well, we'll just get our own website and make the money, and then Instagram and YouTube won't get the ads. Okay, so now, hey, I think they've had to relook at a lot of this stuff. And so the information that is put out is really just undefeated, right? You can't really stop it. So now people are having the opportunity. All those people that had those one-hit wonders are starting to come back and talk about, what happened to them in the industry, what they did to them years ago. They starting to talk about that. All the lies are being exposed, and a lot of these people that people have idolized, like when we were children, we idolized them for so long. Like, we're starting to see the traumatization of a lot of the adults, these kid stars that are now our ages, everything that they had gone through, and now it's a repetitive cycle. And because there's you have social media now, a lot of those child stars that were blackballed, that was traumatized, that was molested, that was assaulted, all of those things, now they're able to get on the internet, start a movement, and get on the internet and start exposing what has been going on in Hollywood. Okay, it seems like to me it is a bad time. And it should be a bad time because this stuff needs to be exposed. It should have been exposed, right? And so, because of the internet, we're starting to see like how a lot of the record labels, if you ain't got no smarts about yourself, how it's starting to crumble. Because a lot of these young men and women that don't want to sell themselves, they go and make themselves big on social media. Okay. Unfortunately, though, some of them are so bad off. After they go and make themselves big, they'll let somebody like Yo Gotti come in and pay them to be on their label. You used to get on a label so that they could put you out there. What you need to go and have somebody really backing you for, if you've already made yourself big and you got millions of followers, hell, that's the damn hardest part. Now, all they doing is coming to hijack you, own your name, own your likeness, all of that shit. Okay, talking about we're gonna put you on a bigger level, and then you get nothing, and they get everything, right? So, hey, even though Nicki Minaj is married, she married a pedo too. Um, because they've talked about her husband, I guess she telling on everybody else too. So it seems like to me they're starting to cancel each other out. Okay, they're starting to cancel each other out, and which I don't have no problems with it. Let's see. So I don't know. Let's see. Vlad, maybe Vlad has it. Let me see. So, hey, I guess we'll see. Somebody said that they saw Vlad on It's Only So Long You Can Do Right. It's only so long that you could do people wrong. Now, you haven't been really hearing them saying anything about Puffy. How many years did the judge give Puffy? How many years did they give Puffy? Like what, 3 or 4 years? So, I mean, you haven't really been hearing anything. He's quiet. I mean, he in jail with all those men. So, I mean, I would think that he would be content. Okay. He'd be content in jail with all those damn men. They works out and have muscles and stuff. So, um, you know, um, I'm sure they kissing his butt because he might be giving them commissary. Don't get me started, okay? So, um, and I'm sure he's giving them money because he don't want to be preyed on. He probably don't want to be preyed on. So you think about God has a way of doing things. All these years, for over 30 years, this man has preyed on men and women. Now he's in jail with the sharks and the predators. Okay. Now he has to worry about the same things that he put so many people through for 30 years. One thing for sure, those tables sure do turn, don't they? Justice for Dog said they're gonna have to drag Diddy out of that jail on his release day. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And here's the sad thing about it. He probably has had gotten some type of camaraderie with some of those guys, and he's gotten some people that he want to get back on, and he probably already told Big Daddy, I'm gonna hook you up with some money. You get out, you take care of this for me, you take care of that for me. It says what Nicki Minaj husband did is not the definition of a pedo because of his age as well. It's dangerous to spread that information. So what exactly did Nicki Minaj husband do? Hold on, let me look it up. Let me see. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up his charges. It says it says attempted in 1995 attempted rape conviction. Petty was convicted of first degree attempted rape in New York, stemming from an incident in 1994 involving a 16-year-old girl. He served over 4 years in state prison and is required to register as a sex offender for life or for as long as he lives in a state that requires it. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. In 1994. So Kenneth Petty, how old was he in 1994? Let's see. Kenneth Petty's age. Okay, he's 47. Okay. You're right. He was 16 years old at the time also. He was 16 years old at the time. So, you're right. He wouldn't be classified as a pedo, just a rapist, right? You're right. He wouldn't be classified as a pedo. He would be classified as a rapist, a underage rapist. In 2006, manslaughter conviction, failure to register in California. Okay. You're right. The girl was 16 and he was 16. So I mean, you're right. He at the time he was 16, she was 16. So he wouldn't be classified as a pedophile. You're right, he wouldn't. But those are the charges I think those were the accusations that were made by some. I'm glad you said that. So I guess he would be I guess he was convicted of attempted rape. So I guess he would be classified as a rapist or some type of sexual predator, even though he was 16 at the time. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Make sure you all hit the like button. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe, okay? Hold on one second. Let me see something. Now, I want to talk about now. There have been murders in Memphis, and y'all know probably a few months back, they brought in the National Guard. Now, I think people have a difference of opinion as it relates to the National Guard. Okay. To me, I feel like you had a lot of black politicians kicking up fuss. I think that were two different worries. You had the citizens that was worried that the National Guard was going to come in and start doing something to killing and beating and doing all of this to their black sons. Okay, that was the fear that was put into the atmosphere, and I believe a lot of the black politicians wanted that fear to be in the atmosphere. They didn't want the National Guard in. And the thing that really concerned me was when all of these murders and stuff was going on in Memphis, and these black boys were killing each other like 40 going north, and it's starting to happen again. Okay. Um, all of these murders that was going on, you didn't hear these politicians, other than the mayor. Okay, maybe the mayor. You didn't hear any other, the city mayor. Okay, he addressed it, but other than that, like a lot of these other politicians, you didn't hear them saying, the city council, the county commissions, I didn't hear them saying anything about these murders that was going on. And so what ended up happening was um the National Guard came in, and those very people that was being quiet when all of these murders were going on, they started kicking up fuss. They started trying to put fear, because that is what they've done in the black community: rule with fear, emotions and fear, because they understand that we as black people are very emotional people, and we're fearful as it relates to our race, because we understand a lot of the things that had happened to our ancestors. And this is how people are able to control us. This is how the slave masters have been able to control us. Now they've got a bunch of damn cuckabug heads to rise up. In order for them to stay in their position, they have taken on the same damn tactics as a lot of what the slave masters did. That is one of the reasons why I always say, and I know a lot of people go, well, I think she racist. I am not racist or prejudiced by a long shot. Okay, let's go ahead and get that out the way. I am not. I'm gonna tell you something. I know my history and I understand what's going on. Okay. And that is, I'm one of the black people that I always say, since I've learned politics and continue to learn politics, do not vote based on race and rank and name recognition, right? Because I think in our community, when we started putting black people in office, and it's good to get a good black person to get in office, right? That understands their community. But what is happening is we're getting black people that are being elected that is already bought and paid for. Okay? They already bought and paid for. Okay? And so it is imperative that we as blacks, if we're going to start to move ahead in our community, we got to start vetting our people in our district. I think they get us caught up. What they do is they get us caught up on that presidential race. Okay. But as I've said for almost the 5 years that I have been up on this platform, is that your local elections are way more important than even your presidential election. because your local elections um affect you, okay, directly. Okay, they affect you directly. Okay, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. And so y'all, it is time. Hold on one second. Let me put this right here. Hold on. It is time for us to change our mindset. Y'all get the likes up. Get the likes up so that we can keep the video in the algorithm because we get ready to go in. Okay. And so now we have elections coming up. Now, if you've been in or around the Memphis area, and it's so embarrassing because what the politics and the politics that has been going on in Memphis, they've been showing it all over the world. Okay. So everybody is tuned in to the damn circus show that is going on in Memphis and Shelby County. Now, let me get because let me get back to when they talking about the National Guard, because see, I'm getting ahead of myself because see, I'll be ready to go in. Okay. And so you saw a lot of those politicians, other than Paul Young. And see, a lot of people put everything on the shoulder of Paul Young. And see, I know a lot of people feel a certain way about Paul Young, but I believe Paul Young is innovative. Okay. Paul Young has a caring heart. I think the man want to do well. But the issue that's going on with Paul Young is that a lot of these politicians who are corrupt and got a dirty heart, they got their knives in his back because they've been running for city mayor and ain't been able to get it. Okay. And so they want to ensure that when it's time for re-election, he does not get it anymore. Okay. That's how I feel about that. One thing I see like in Memphis politics is that they will set you up. They'll set you up. They'll get with the slave masters and set you up to look bad. And these cuckabug heads do it. Okay. So you didn't hear a lot of these people that sat on these boards, these county and city boards, saying anything um, when all of these killings and murders was going on. These black boys was killing each other. Memphis was quickly turning into the murder capital. Okay. And so then when they decided that they was going to bring in the National Guard, a lot of these politricksters felt like this is our opportunity to get in front of the camera and get our names out there and get the good black people emotional, right? They rule with fear and all of that. But as long as all of these murders was going on and it was not able to be gotten under control, nobody was saying nothing. And you know why they don't say nothing? Because in every city and county, okay, when there are a lot of murders, there are funds that are allocated to those cities, okay? And they normally go to your city council and your county commission, and they're able to allocate those funds to different organizations and things of that nature that would help to curb the crime, right? Normally they find a way to funnel that money, give it to somebody they know, and then funnel it back to them and get a kickback. Okay. So that's why when they brought in the National Guard, hey, Trump took a lot of that money, the governor took a lot of that money and was going to pay the National Guard to try to get a lot of the crime up under control. You started hearing those very people who was being quiet step up and say, no, we don't need the National Guard. And then they started trying to spread fear into the atmosphere to get a lot of black people emotional. Okay. With fear. They're going to kill your black sons. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. they was already killing each other, which is bad because and then they started saying, but we want those federal dollars. They wanted that money so they can line their pocket with it, right? They could figure out a way to get a kickback and line their pockets with it to give it to their kids and organizations or their nieces and nephews and things of that nature that ain't never did a damn thing with the money anyways. I mean, we got to be real about this stuff, okay? This is the type of stuff that goes on in Memphis, and now you got everybody looking at that school board, okay? That school board got the state coming in, right? First of all, it's a damn shame that you're looking at years of how a lot of those people, even before a lot of the ones that you got on the school board right now, they are continuing a pattern of what had came before, of them hijacking the school board. You had a bunch of them damn fools that was black that was on the school board selling out our children. Okay, when I was going to school, we could bring our books home, and then as time went on, when my sister started going to school, they couldn't even bring their books home because they was like, well, there ain't enough money. Now we see how big the budget is that the school board have. Why is it that they ain't buying books with the money, but they giving out $4 million contracts for 1 year to several janitorial services that they going to have in private meetings and stuff like that with? Whatever happened to, it's a lot cheaper to just hire people in-house. When we was growing up, it's cheaper. Give them insurance, hire them in-house, okay, and get them a job, and they work all day cleaning the schools. But they found a way to try to hijack the money and get with a lot of these businesses and sell the contracts. It's been going on for a long time. What you see now is they just continuing that pattern when it ain't no way that they should be contracting out those damn jobs. Not only are people complaining about the schools not being clean and they selling the contracts and getting a kickback, they taking jobs right out of they taking jobs from the citizens. Okay, so when they give these contracts out, they want to hire people in and pay them the bare minimum with no insurance. Y'all, what's wrong with our Memphis politicians? What's wrong with them? They don't have no qualm about what they do because they've been getting away with it for so long. And so I used to talk about this on my show because I started to see, why people were so blinded, because it's almost like somebody was saying it's definitely organized crime. You got a whole lot of people involved in this. They understand if you go to the churches, okay? Okay? They go to the churches, okay? And what they do is, and I ain't talking about every church, but this stuff has got to be called out. So they go to the churches and to the big churches. I remember when I started my TV show, okay? When I started my TV show and I was coming on right before Thaddeus Matthews, a lot of people had me confused in the beginning with Tawana Murphy. That was me that was coming on before Thaddeus, okay? And so a lot of those politicians, when it was election season, they would come in and they would pay me to do commercials and stuff for them, and I would do their commercials. That's my business. So I would produce their commercials and I would put them in slots on my TV show, and then I would be hearing them in there talking to my dad, and they would get to talking about, I want to do business with your daughter. We got money allocated for the radio station. We're gonna try to do business with your daughter, and we got money allocated for the churches. And I asked my dad, I said, Dad, and this when I first started learning about politics. They said, we got money allocated for the big churches. And I said, Dad, why are these politicians that's running, why are they giving money to the churches? Well, here's the thing. So some of these churches, not all of them, but a lot of them, what they would do is they would have them to come and let them come and say, well, you know, my friend Senator such and such was in the neighborhood. You know, Senator such and such don't show up, okay, until it is election season, okay, in the church. They don't show up in the black churches until it's election season so that they can hijack the black vote. Ain't did a damn thing for them in 4 years. And what is so disappointing to me is a man of the cloth know, especially with the way that black people are suffering in Memphis. Poverty is out of control. Our community is in a state of emergency. Okay? Black folks hurting. And you let a pastor will let a crooked politician, just because he want leverage or some money, come and stand in his pulpit. A politician ain't did nothing for the black community, okay, in 4 years, and sway his congregation to vote for him. Even if he don't say vote for him, if he coming and standing in your pulpit, that's who your people gonna remember, okay? And so this is the type of stuff that is going on. That's why I'm so happy. It's time for black people to have a mind of our own. Okay? And there are a lot of good churches. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good churches. But those that are selling out our people, when you know that they got a no good politician that when it's election time standing in your pulpit, in their pulpit, that ain't did nothing, that ain't been out there. Folks can say what they want to about Paul Young. Paul Young gonna come to every event that you ask him to come to. You didn't see Jim Strickland at no events unless it was election time. Paul Young and his wife coming to all of them. That I do know. Okay? And so I think the mindset of the Memphian is, I always say, I love my city with a passion. I love the people in my city with a passion. And that's why I've been able for the last 14 years to get on my TV show and be very passionate about. And now I'm on the internet. Also, y'all, we got to change our mindset. They really been screwing us over, and they rule with fear just as the slave masters did. Okay? It is time to get registered to vote. Okay? I'm going to have a registration drive. It's time to get registered to vote. And the way, see, we like to get mad at white people. We can't get, and we get mad at the Asians, and we get mad at the Hispanics and the Latinos. We can't get mad at them because they stick together. We got to stick together just as they do. I don't blame them. They supposed to stick together. It ain't nothing fantastic about what other communities do. It ain't no mystery about what they do. It ain't nothing hidden about what they do. All they do is stick together. That's all they do. Our community is one of the only communities where you get a lot of black folks that get in office and want to sell their community out. No other community gets into office and want to sell out their people. They want to see their communities flourish. It's the black folks. It's something wrong with us. So now, my dad, before my dad died, rest in peace to my dad, Rick Thompson. Okay? My dad used to always say, let me tell you something, gal. A sold out black person is way more dangerous than a racist white man and woman could ever be. Because they can get that Negro to do things that a white person can't do without having some type of legal charges and stuff brought against them. So what they do is they go and they get them a good Negro. Okay? And they get behind Find them and put them into place. And then they go and sell out the community with a grin. These are the same damn communities that they watch their mamas and their grandmothers struggle in. And then they get their asses out of them. And then they get some type of leverage and they run for office. And then they come back and sell the same community out that they done grew up in and struggled in. There has to be some type of repercussions about selling out the Black community. There ain't no repercussions. That's the only difference that in our community and other communities. It's some repercussions if you think you're going to get up there and sell out their community. They're going to put something in place to make sure you don't ever get in office again and your lineage don't either and your businesses ain't going to flourish or nothing else. But their mindset is we want to keep the dollar flowing in our community. Our community is we're going to take crumbs to keep our people down because everybody takes advantage of the Black community. Okay? So it's a darn shame. The way that one of the repercussions is you make these Negroes one-term elected officials. We get out in droves and we let them know that stuff that school board playing ain't now that's up for election supposed to be reelected. Anybody that's on that school board right now that and they are up for reelection, none of them need to be voted for. You need to see who is running against them and vet them. It ain't even up for discussion. If you are on the school board right now, you will not be reelected. That's the way you do it. Whoever is running against them, you vet them and you vote for one of them. It ain't even a discussion. You on the school board, we're not voting for you. Your time up. All of this foolery that's been going on, what this board has done, you're gonna be if this is your first time, you're gonna be a one-term school board elected commissioner. And if it's more than one time, it's your last time. That's how we teach people not to play with our community when they think they're going to get their cuckabug heads up there and sell us out. We make them, we ain't got no issues with you. You can speak real well. Okay. You might even be a nice person. You got a nice family, but you ain't going back. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. It ain't nothing personal. This is business, and our community and the future of our people is at stake. You won't be reelected. That's it. It ain't nothing personal. That's how they do it in other communities, okay? That's how they do it. They are proactive. Instead, they keep us in a position to always be reactive. And it's got to stop. We got all the power. Memphis is what, 76, 78% Black? We got the power. We have the voting power. That's why they go get us sold out, Negro, because they know we got the voting power. And what we do is we probably going to vote for somebody Black. And so they go get a good Negro that ain't got no issues with selling their community out because they know it ain't going to be no repercussions anyways. Okay? That's why I say we make them one-term elected officials. And they'll know not to play with the Black community. When they think about selling us out, they're going to see, oh, they ain't playing no more. Because see, if they elect me, my career is over in politics. My career is over. They're not going to elect us no more. So I got to do what I'm supposed to do. In 4 years, you get people instead, they get up there and they be up there 4 years, don't do a damn thing. And then they come back to the Black community and say, well, 4 years wasn't long enough. I tried. No, we let them come to our community and tell us what they gonna do for us. They ain't got no business telling us what they gonna do for us. We know how we are suffering and hurting in our community. We supposed to have an agenda for them. Can you do this? This is what we need in our community. Okay? Can you do this? Everything that's on here. Because if you can't do it, then we just gonna go on to the next person. You ain't the person for the job. You don't come in my community and tell me what you're gonna do for me. We're gonna tell you what we need. Can you do it? And if you can't do it, it ain't nothing personal. You just ain't the person for the job. Okay? But instead, we let people finesse us. Well, they came on over there to the church. That's a good white man's. That's a good white woman's. You see how that black man, he had on a $1,000 suit and he a crook out the book. He kissed our babies. It ought to be insulting for somebody who ain't did a damn thing for your community to come to your community when it's election time asking for your vote. Okay. And so people, and you have to be real careful about these sneaky Stevens too, okay? Because what they'll do is, and they know they're gonna run, they'll start making themselves visible and taking pictures at all of these events and shit like that, and they ain't did a darn thing, okay? So people ask me what I do. I've been a private investigator for a whole lot of years. You want to ask how many families that I work with them doing pro bono work, trying to help them when their kids are missing? That's a problem. That's a problem, human trafficking in the Black community. You ain't got to be standing in front of every picture. You ain't got to do that. You don't have to be seen. The job that I have makes for me to be behind the scenes. But guess what? I work just as hard, though. I've worked just as hard. The issue in our community with human trafficking is Black people. First of all, they ain't got the police officers. It's not enough police. It's a shortage of police. They don't get out here and look for these kids. A lot of these kids are being snatched up. Okay? They being snatched up. And what they're doing is labeling them as runaways because they don't want to label them. They don't want to say that these kids are being snatched. Number one, because they don't give a damn about these Black kids. That's number one. Number two, they don't want to send pandemonium throughout the Black communities. Okay? That's number two. Basically, they don't want to do anything. So when you see a lot of these white people and they're on TV, first of all, a Black child ain't going to get the coverage that a white child get. That's just the truth. A lot of these white families are able to hire private investigators to go out and help them to try to locate their child, to get a scent and a trail on their child. Black families ain't got that type of money. So what they do is they go into these poor Black communities, and while these kids are walking to school, they snatch them up. And then the police department can be so pathetic. What they'll do is, because they don't want to say that there's a problem, because that put pressure on them, they'll say it's a runaway. Okay? And so that's why I started an organization to do pro bono work for Black families that didn't have the money, okay, to try to help them to use my TV show to keep their children's faces out there, and to work with other private investigators that would do pro bono work to help them to get a scent on their child. Okay? But it's a darn shame that it's so much trickery. The first thing they'll say is, well, you know, I was at all the events. They go to all the churches. They grin. They don't do nothing. They go get all this money. And see, that's why I say you have to vet people. Start looking at who donate money to folks. Because as a lot of times as Black people, we get so caught up, oh, that person is just so loved. They got all of their money. Did you know that they was able to raise $500,000? Okay. Did you look to see who it was? That why would somebody be donating $500,000 or $1 million to somebody? Why are they making big donations? So if they getting all of this money from these rich people and these big businesses, you really think they're gonna get their behinds in office and do something for you? They donating to their campaigns because they got an interest. And when they get elected, and which they probably will because they got the money to buy all of the advertisement and make themselves more visible and put money in some of these big churches' pockets, they ain't gonna do a damn thing for you. You're not gonna see them no more. Okay? In them nice suits that they came and hugged you in, you won't see them no more. Instead, when you got somebody that's out there personable, going door to door, talking to the people, caring about the people, you want to look right over them because people like flashy stuff. And that is the reason that we are still stuck in the positions that we are in the Memphis and Shelby County area. Everybody comes and hijack the city of Memphis. It's a darn shame because Memphis is a beautiful city. I don't care where I go. I enjoy myself when I go to other states. And then I started looking at, I was up in Pigeon Forge last year. I'm like, dog, I was up in Pigeon Forge. I'm looking at how the I'm just looking at all of the parks. I love going down there to is it Gulf Shores, Alabama? No, it's Orange Beach, Alabama. All of the amusement parks they got, all of the money that they put into these small cities and stuff for the kids. They took everything out of Memphis. They just hijacked Memphis. They took the Liberty Land. They took everything. There's nothing for kids. Okay? And we just let them do it. We just let them do it. And so what I hear around Memphis is, people get to talking about, because this is the energy that they especially want the Black community to have. Well, I don't vote because my vote don't count. The devil is a liar. Your vote do count. They want you to believe that so that you won't vote. My dad used to say, okay, my dad was in an elected official in politics, so you're going to always hear me reference him. My dad used to always say, he used to always say the Negroes, they don't want the good Negroes to vote. They want to spread that energy because they understand how powerful our vote is. And they know it's so easy to discourage our community. So if they get enough people to say it, we get discouraged. Well, I ain't gonna go vote. They don't want you to know nothing about politics. They don't want you to be involved in politics. You know why? Because they know whoever controls the politics controls the money. Okay? And they don't ever want us to get involved and start looking into it and really start organizing, because going and kicking in doors and setting shit on fire and setting neighborhoods on fire and looting, they want that. That's not being proactive, because when you get through burning down your damn neighborhood, ain't a damn thing changed. You just got a burn up damn neighborhood. Okay? You're worse off than you started. But if we really sit down and start organizing and start overthrowing a lot of these people, these sneaky Stevens that they've sent, okay, that they're paying to keep the Black community disoriented, that looks just like us. Okay, because see, we got an issue with thinking that all white people are bad. It ain't. Some of the ones that look just like you is way worse than any white person could ever be. Okay, we got to really sit down and start organizing. Okay, that's what we got to do. And I know a lot of people have a difference of opinion about Paul Young. I believe Paul Young want to get this thing right. Paul Young got more knives in his back than Julius damn Caesar. So a lot of people get mad at him because he still got CJ Davis over there. Well, I mean, did people forget that CJ Davis had signed a contract or something? Didn't they say that why would he fire her and she's still up on the contract? So people would be talking about him for that. He still got to pay out of her contract and bring in another police director. What kind of sense would that make? Rather than just letting her contract expire, right? But we sit up and we fly off half cocked, and we gotta change our mindset because we possess all the power. With all of these black politicians in Memphis, it ain't no reason for Memphis to be as bad off as it is. You would think that a lot of these politicians that come from up out of these areas, okay, they would care so much about the area, they would turn their nose up, okay, at talking about selling out a district or a community that I grew up in. Absolutely not. I saw how my grandmama and granddad and all of them struggled. How we didn't really have much, and I'm gonna get elected and sell out the people that I grew up around when I got a connection to this community. Oh, absolutely not. And so that's why I like, LaShanta Rudd. She's one of the ones over there in Orange Mound. Okay. She's running. I forget what her district is. She's running. And I see what she does in Orange Mound. She has a group where she's helping these young men to get jobs with the city, okay, and the county. She trained them. These are dudes that come off of the street. She trained them. She helped them to learn how to start filling out applications and doing resumes. I went up in there and I saw what she do. Right over there on Dallas Street in Orange Mound, over there on Dallas Street at the library. This is what she's doing to young black men that have been in the streets that want to get their lives together for their kids, teaching them how to write up their resumes right. Then she go and get them suits and stuff, teach them how to speak and what to say when they are on job interviews. And don't y'all know some of them folks that got hired with the city, good city jobs, straight out of gangs and off of the street through her organization. Okay. And so these are the types of leaders that we have to start getting behind and stop voting based on familiarity. I'm talking about, well, they know the job. Evidently, they don't know the damn job. They ain't did a damn thing. That's our mindset. Well, they already been there. They know the job. They must don't know nothing. What has changed in your community? That's what you need to judge it out based off of. Okay. So evidently they don't know the job. Because if ain't nothing changed in your community, it's obvious they don't know the job. It's time for there to be a change. Okay? And we got the opportunity to make that change with these county elections that's coming up. Okay? I want to have a voters registration drive. Okay? I do. I got some people, like my best friend Benisa, all of her family live in the hood. It's some things that I want to do. I don't really want to announce it yet because I don't need for nobody to be watching me to try to run with my ideas. Okay. But there's some stuff I want to do for the community. I grew up in the hood, so I'm not scared to walk up in the hood. Nowhere. But it's time for our people to know that all we got to do is get up and decide that we want to change and then go about doing it. You got some people so unmotivated, they don't even want to vote. I don't want to vote. I had a cousin to say that I don't want to vote. I don't even know if I'm registered. I had to encourage her. No, you need to go get registered. You need to go get registered and you need to vote. You need to vote because you need to, anything that you see that's up there right now as it relates to the county's elections, anybody that's in office right now, vote them out. okay? Especially on that school board. Every position on the school board that's open, do not re-elect the person, okay? It's time to change the face of that school board so that we can take back the school board and start helping these children, okay? These folks selling contracts like 40 going north, okay? They lying in their pockets. And you know why they feel comfortable in doing it? They feel like they're supposed to be able to do it because the people before them did it. But it's time for it to stop now, though. It's time for it to stop. And the way that it can stop is if you get out and vote. Okay. One of the reasons, because I was fighting with, I was like, dog, I hadn't, I was fighting with a lot of stuff. I was like, shit, hey, but I was like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do my TV show anymore. And I thought about it's election season. And then after that, the city elections are coming up. I need to, because a lot of older people look at TV that vote. They are not on the internet. And so I got to be able to use my platforms, okay, to speak to these people. Because they're real good at putting fear in the older people that just want to be faithful to God. They're real bad about doing that. And so it's time for a change. It is time for a change. Anyways, y'all. Hold on, let me see. Loose Goose says, I think it's because Guthrie had a multiple ransom notes even being sent to TMZ, but the feds aren't investigating the CK case. So I have a lot of faith. I do believe that a lot of the Memphians are fed up. I do. I believe a lot of the Memphians are fed up. And that's why we see a lot of trickery going on as it relates to these elections. Somehow they said they had some type of mishap, and a lot of people that was registered to vote, they're not registered. They're not registered to vote anymore. They are scared because you've had a lot of people to rise up to kick up a lot of fuss. And it's been opening the eyes of people, right? It's been opening their eyes. It's been getting people motivated when they know that this is what I got to do. See, people won't change, but when they don't know what to do, they don't know what to do to have change, they feel stuck and unmotivated. But when you start having people to rise up and say, look, this is all you got to do, and you got the power. See, when they feel powerless, they want you to feel like you are powerless. When you got the vote, you got the finger, you vote for these politicians. Okay? All it takes is getting up, putting on your shoes, and going to vote and voting out what is in there that has not been working for you. And that's how you get change. About 30 minutes of your time for one day. But they don't never really want you to know that. Okay? They don't want you to know that. And so then you have to be careful because they put 3 and 4 people in a race. If they feel like you're mad at the person that's there and it ain't looking good for them, they'll go and get, okay, we'll get such and such and such. And we'll saturate the race in a district with the same type of people. They're all together. Therefore, if they don't vote for, let's just say Maddie Ann, okay, Susie May is still one of ours that's bought out. We got 2-3 more in the race, so we'll, at least if they don't vote for the one, if they vote the one we got in there out, then we got 2 more in the race. That's the reason why you have to vet these people. Look at who is donating them money. Who are they affiliated with? Where the hell they come from? Okay? Because what they'll try to do is uh a lot of these people are not even, they feel like if they go and they speak at some of these events, they feel like they're in the house. But they're not gonna get out and come to your neighborhood because they scared. And it is the people in the hoods that's suffering. It's the children in these hoods that's suffering. And so we're voting for change this election. And we're not going to stop just with the county election. We're going to go take it all the way over into the city elections. Now, let me just say this. I know a lot of people, because like I said, Paul Young got so many knives in his back. And hey, we're adults on here. We can agree to disagree. But I just happen to be a Paul Young fan, okay? I went to their church. Paul Young's family has helped me a lot. I knew Paul Young and his brother and his sister, and those are good people. Those are innovative, good people, okay? And I think they keep so much stuff in air. A lot of these people that be standing behind Paul Young, when they ain't doing shit in their districts, okay? But then stabbing him in the back. But then when it's time when he's having a press conference, they got their asses behind him. Okay. But I guess they're standing in the right position because they're the ones that's got the knives in his back. Okay. So that's why they be behind him. Okay. Because that's where the knives come from in his back. Okay. And so that's a lot of these people have been in office for too long anyways. Check out your state representatives and stuff. A lot of them, they should have been gone. They never should have even been up in there. But see, people go, they won't get out and vote. And then they go to these churches and they let some pastor finesse them into voting a joker into office that ain't never even supposed to have the position anyways. It's time to change that though, right? We already see what's going on, so we're going to change that. It's time for new faces. And if they don't do what they're supposed to do, we're not going to give them 8 years. We ain't giving them 8 years no more to take advantage of us. Okay? If they don't do what they're supposed to do in the first 4 years, we're going to make them one-term elected officials. They ain't going back. So guess what? That's going to make them get their behinds. Okay? It's going to make them get their behinds up in there and do what they supposed to do. Because they're going to know we ain't playing with them. That's what other communities do. That's how they're so proactive. Okay? White people and other races don't get what they want because of their skin. They make us think, well, they able to have it because they white. No, they're organized. You're not gonna have Republicans. You're not gonna have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Republicans running for the same damn position. They're gonna vote. They're gonna vet one person, and whoever else dare not run up against a person that they have decided that would be best for that office. That's how organized they are. But instead, you let black folks, you'll have about 50 black folks in one election, knowing that they splitting up the votes. You know why? Because they've been paid to get up in there. And so that's why when you see a cuckabug head in a race that they know they can't win, he better not run. He already know he can't run for nothing else because he ain't gonna never win. Because we're gonna let him know you not gonna win nothing in Shelby County. You think you gonna get in a race and divide the votes and possibly make us lose a good person that could be in a position? You sell out your community, you ain't gonna be elected for nothing. Your career over. I bet you they stopped doing it, but we ain't organized enough to do that. We ain't organized enough to do it. That's all we have to do with these jokers. Say what we mean and mean what we say. You can get up there and we're going to elect you. You elected. We're going to get behind you. You can get up there and sell us out if you want to. I bet you ain't going back. You won't be reelected. Not only are you not going to be reelected, but whatever you got going on, whatever business you got in the community, we ain't going to support you no more. We don't support nobody that sell our community out, and our community is in a state of emergency. They know they got to know that they got something to lose. You're going to lose your livelihood, and I don't think you're going to sell us out. But there are no repercussions for selling out the Black community. There's something in place in every community of races when people get in position and sell their people out. Okay? It's something in place. That's why you don't see it that often. That's why they'll run for a Black district. You'll see other communities running for a district with a bunch of Black people, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay? Because sometimes some of these white folks do better than the Black ones. At least they their own person. Since they their own person, they ain't gonna get up there and let master pay them out. You'll have a white man that'll be elected that's strong enough to do what a cuckabug had who grew up in that same community is scared to do. Because he done took a payout, and then the payout ain't even that much. They taking $10,000 and $15,000 to keep their people in bondage. And God been saying, Pharaoh, you got to let my people go. That's the reason why if a lot of these pastors that's doing this don't get themselves right, you're not going to see them in their pulpit no more. Because God been saying, Pharaoh, you got to let my people go. And when they start letting these folks who they know ain't doing a damn thing for the community come and stand up in their community and they influence their flock, they're keeping our community in bondage. Okay? And God ain't pleased with that. After a while, you're not going to see them no more, okay? Because God going to handle that. God going to handle that, I'm telling you. Because it ain't nothing for a so-called leader to say when some of these jokers call, well, you know, Pastor, I want to come and stop by the church. It's election season. Okay, what have you done in the 4 years that you've been in office? You need to run that down. See, that's what these pastors supposed to say. What have you done in the last 4 years? What have you done? See, my church sits in this community. So what have you done for this community? You've been up there 4 years. Because I've been here and I ain't seen you do nothing. And then they're supposed to respectfully decline. Instead, they feel like they're going to get some leverage, some grants, and some money. And they help to keep their people in bondage. Okay? And God ain't pleased with that. A lot of these people you gonna look for them and you ain't gonna be able to find them. Okay? Because they're gonna be laid up somewhere. Because after you keep people, you're evil enough to keep people in bondage instead of being a part of helping to bring our community out of bondage. You're going to be constantly a part of the problem. You ain't going to have to worry about them because a lot of them going to start having strokes. Okay? Because the word of the Lord is going to go forward. And God says, Pharaoh, let my people go. And a lot of these people that are in leadership positions is Pharaoh. Okay? See, I don't really know how to come and see, I'm a real nice person. I'm a real nice person. I do whatever I can for people. I always have been like that, but I don't know how to, especially with our community being in a state of emergency and with Black people be hurting like the people in Memphis is hurting. I don't really know how to sugarcoat it. These Negroes got to be called out. They got to be. That's the only way that the yoke is going to be loosed. Okay? But faith without works is dead. Because, see, I get sick of people talking about, well, you know, I found out what they doing. And, yeah, we voted for the wrong people, sis, but we just going to pray. When you get through praying and you don't get up and go vote, all you're going to have is some busted up bloody knees. You're going to have to put some works with that prayer and vote them Negroes up out of there. Because, see, that's what they count on you doing, just praying and doing nothing. Even the word says faith without works is dead. Okay, so we're going to put some works in this stuff. They're not going to keep taking advantage of Memphis. These black boys dying, and every day poverty ignites crime. Poverty ignites crime. It's a damn shame how they have these jobs. You know, these politicians get on, well, you know, we got such and such coming into Memphis, and yeah, we they get on the news. We bringing jobs in Memphis. Are they hiring them in, or are you continuing the slave tradition of bringing the temporary service in? They ain't getting no benefits, no nothing. Okay, so you brought a job in, but they ain't hiring the folks in. You making them go through a temporary service. That's a slave masters type thing. So they still ain't got no insurance. They still ain't making the money they should make. So why is the company here anyways? Are you saying that black people are only worthy of pennies, and you got damn cuckabug heads allowing that to happen? You know why? Because they getting a kickback from the temporary service, or one of their relatives are on the damn temporary service. Help me, somebody. It shouldn't be happening. So when you have politicians that do stuff like that, they're going to be one-term elected officials. That's what's going to happen with that. If they agree with it, we're going to go look at your record. Did you agree with this? Did you vote for this company to come in here and they hiring through a damn temporary service, which means the people still making pennies and ain't got no damn insurance? They making $12, $13 an hour because of a temporary service, and they supposed to be making $25 an hour. Okay, you're going to be a one-term elected official, and if you ain't one term, you won't be elected to no other position. Because, see, they play musical chairs in Memphis. They leave one seat and then go to another. You can run all you want to. Your time is up. See, that's how we hold people accountable. They're going to know we can't play with the black community no more. Okay? That's what they're going to know. Okay? Y'all hit that like button. I didn't even get on here to fuss tonight. But it's time for a change. Our community is in a state of emergency. And it ain't going to get no better until we take the initiative to change our mindset and then get up and do something about it. The problem with a lot of the black people, the black politicians in Memphis, is that they already bought and paid for when they get in office. So they have an allegiance to a whole totally different entity, and it ain't got a damn thing to do with the people that they supposedly elected in that position to help. Okay? They're going to pay back whoever helped them to get in that position. Okay? That's why people got to be boots on the ground. They got to support, okay, the people who are bought out, who are not bought out, so they can get into office and be free. They got to be a free Negro so that they can get in there and shake some shit up and work for you. Okay? And then you have to understand now, when you get these free black people, these free Afro-Americans, they start trying to kick up all types of shit on them that's false. You got to stand behind them. Because see, when they see, the thing about our community, we love a good scandal. We don't know if it's true or not. A lie travels further than the truth any day. A lie travels at the speed of light. any day, because people love a good scandal, okay? Whether it's true or not. And so what they do is, because they work with these medias and stuff, they start putting out lies on people that ain't bought and paid for. Oh, okay, we can't control her. Oh, she gonna call some stuff out. Oh yeah, we ain't gonna be able to. And here's the thing: a lot of these folks that's taking this money up on the table, they ain't even. It ain't even no generational wealth. They getting themselves caught up in federal crimes and federal indictments for misconduct while they are elected officials for pennies. They sell their damn community out for pennies. It should be priceless. You shouldn't take no money to sell out a community that you struggled in, and you've seen the people around you that look like you struggle in, and especially your family members. Because when you lived in these hoods, you've seen your mama, your grandmama, your granddaddy, your aunties, and all of your neighbors struggle to try to make ends meet. And then you're going to get your ass up in there and sell out the community. You're going to be bought out before you even get up in there. Now, there's got to be some repercussions. So, these county elections that's coming up, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to run. I'll be back on TV next week. That's the reason why I had started. I had to go on and get back on my shot so I can get this weight on back off. Okay. And get my mind, my body, and my soul together so that I could fight. I'll fund myself. I'll ask certain people to donate to my organizations. I'm not going to no big business, okay? Because I'm not sitting at no table for nobody to say to me, if we support you, what we gonna get. I don't need nothing from you, because I'm not gonna be bought and paid for. Our people are in a state of emergency. Our children are in a state of emergency, okay? I need $1 from everybody, okay? I'm gonna need $1 from everybody. If I get 2,000 people, I get 5,000 people to give me $1. Okay, that would be a good thing. That's how we're gonna do it. It's grassroots, period. If I decide to do it, that's how we're gonna do that. Because I'm gonna be a free Negro, okay? And I'm gonna get in there and do what is necessary, okay? That's the only way that things are going to change, okay? It's free or nothing, okay? What Harriet Tubman say? I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free or die. Okay, I'm gonna be free. It's a damn shame that our community, with everything that our ancestors have gone through, they ain't got no type of integrity or nothing. They'll get up in there and be sold out for a damn dime. It ought to be an insult for anybody to come to you and you looking at how people are struggling and suffering and ask you to sell out your community. What is wrong with our people? I'm not going to haggle with you. It ought to be some things that people know not to. Well, I can't go to her. We can't have no sit down with her. We already know we can't do it. You supposed to have that type of energy where they know they can't come to you and do it. But instead, we so thirsty for money, we're selling out the future of our own children for a damn dime. Okay? And it's got to stop. The people got the power. Not just in Memphis, anywhere. The people got the power. All you got to do is get up and see who is elected, who's sitting in these seats today, and vote for them to be out tomorrow. Okay? Vet who is running against them and vote for them. Okay? That's it. Everybody that's in these positions now got to go. That's it. That's all. And that's how things gonna change. And if some folks get their asses up in there and they don't do what they supposed to do, we're gonna vote them out. That's all. That's how we gonna do it. You're going to be a one-term elected official and you ain't going nowhere else because we're going to make sure that you don't. Okay? Y'all hit that like button. I feel like I done been preaching enough. Okay? That's right. People don't like you when they see that you're not gonna bend and they can't hustle you and they can't haggle you and they know you're not gonna play with them. Okay, you ain't gonna, ain't no. Let me tell you something. You can't. Ain't no black person gonna have no meetings with no white person and ask them to sell out their community. They not gonna take no meeting from no cuckabug head. You're not gonna ever see a black person sit down with no other community and try to haggle them, try to bribe them with no money, nothing. They ain't gonna do it. You know what they gonna say? They gonna get in meetings and say, you know what this nigger tried to do? He a rich nigger, but he think I'm gonna sell my community out for him? They ain't gonna do it. They take a sense of pride in their communities, and they should. But you got these damn cuckabug heads would take a meeting with anybody to sell out the future of they damn people. It's a darn shame before God. Okay? Whew. Where my phone's at? I want y'all to call in if I can find the phone. Oh, I found it. It must be meant for y'all to call in, child. Let me put the number up. Listen, I know I'm in the house tonight. Y'all ain't got to tell me. I know I am. Hold on. I'm getting ready to put the number up. And then y'all can call in if y'all want to. That's the number that's on the screen, 901-329-9819. You can call in if you have something that you have to say or that you want to say about anything that we talked about tonight. Okay. Ajoela's got it. Right. The lines are open, you all. So if anybody want to call in, and I'm a nice person. You don't have to be scared to call in and speak your mind to me. Okay. I'm not gonna stop you, try to stop you or nothing like that. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Okay. Make sure you guys, let's see how many likes we got. It's over 100 people in here, so we should have over 100 likes, you guys. So make sure you all hit the like button and make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, the lines are open. The number is 901 329 9819. I'll let y'all call in for the last 15 minutes. I've been on here 2 hours. Hey, I didn't even know I had been on here for it. It seemed like it went by real fast. But we got to do better in our community. You know, one thing that I can say, and I'm sure it happens in every city, unfortunately, there's always like a covetousness spirit that lingers over our community. And I think we got to get better by that. You know, that spirit of that covenant spirit, like almost like that crabs in a barrel mentality. That's something that we got to change. And I think people have that spirit of jealousy when they feel like somebody has something that they can't have. That's a mindset that has to be changed. There are a lot of resources out there. Some people just don't know how to get the resources. I think those things are gonna have to start being made readily available, because there's always this secrecy going on, so that only certain people can get funds and things of that nature. That stuff has to stop, and it's been like that for a very long time. Okay, it has to stop. People got to be trained in our community on how to make money work for us, right? We'll take like Glorilla's sister for example. Now, Glorilla's sister was talking about one day that she was so hungry, she was about to eat a roach. She went from that to, she said, making almost 30K in about 2 to 3 weeks. The first thing she did was went and bought some old cheap chains, okay, some cheap chains, and all the McDonald's chicken sandwiches and stuff like that, just wasting money. And so if she ain't careful, what's gonna happen is she's gonna be back in the same position that she was in. And so that's what's gonna have to happen with our community. Um, we gotta learn, we gotta have education on how to grow money. Okay. We gotta be taught on how to grow money, because as soon as money get in our hand, we're spending it on the unnecessary stuff. Like we don't even know how to save. We don't know how to invest in things that create generational wealth, because we can't we spending it as soon as we get it, because we feel like we got a point to prove. The very people that make a lot of this stuff, the people that make those expensive cars like those Rolls Royces and charge $300,000 and $400,000 for them, they probably don't even drive them. You'd be surprised, they probably got a cheap car, because it's about the bottom line. You see a lot of rich people, and what they do is they drive Toyota Corollas. They don't even want folks to know they got money. Okay, they got a little nice little SUV. It's nothing real expensive, but they're living in a beautiful home. It's the totally opposite for us. We believe in going and buy expensive cars. We'll have a Rolls Royce pulled up to a shack, okay, and then be mad about somebody trying to break in. That's totally backwards. You go get the house and put your kids in a nice neighborhood, right? And then you get, if you can afford a nice car, you do that. Okay. But I mean, you trying to get to and fro work. But I think being in a safer neighborhood should be priority. Unfortunately, we don't think like that. We feel like it's what we drive, you know, it's what we wear. People in our community bragging about paying $2,000 for shoes, and they ain't got a damn dime to their name. Okay. They don't own no houses, no nothing, but they brag about paying $900 for a Gucci shirt and living in the damn projects. Okay. And so that's why I say there has to be a renewal of the mind. And I think people kind of want for our community to stay ignorant to a lot of things, because people get rich off of the ignorance of the Black community. That is how generational wealth is accrued in other communities. And it has been like that forever, starting back from the slavery days when our ancestors had to work for as chattel slaves for the white community. And now we're slaves in our mind. And so hey, people want for us to go and pay. All they do is take a damn t-shirt, a $2 t-shirt, and go and print up a logo on it and charge you $900 for it. You don't see no white folks or no other community wearing that bullshit. But we'll go and then we'll be standing in the projects with rats running behind us in the projects on a video talking about I got on a Gucci shirt. You see what I'm talking about? This stuff is real. And I'm not talking about nobody that live in the projects. Because I grew up in the projects. I grew up in Clementine. I grew up in Clementine until I was 13 years old. Okay. So I've seen some rats and roaches in the projects. Okay. So I'm not down in nobody, but what I'm saying is our priorities is screwed up. There's $1 billion business. We spend what, 1.2 billion? They say money is power. If we're the ones that's spending the most money, if we're spending $1.2 billion every year in the Black community, why don't we have any power? It's because we ain't putting our money in the right places. We don't really support no other Black businesses. I'm telling you, Justice for Dow, with an empty refrigerator. We have people, we'll have folks bragging about standing outside to get the new Jordans. They slept outside for 2 days, but they ain't got no damn insurance policy on their children. They bragging about paying $300-400 for some Jordans, but they stood in line for 2 days, but they won't stand in line for 1 hour to go vote to help to change the future of their generations. We got to have a renewal of the mind. While you buying them Jordans, them $300-400 Jordans, those are the same Jordans that somebody, God forbid, tried to pop you or killed you to try and get, and now your family ain't got no insurance. Okay? So there has to be a renewal of the mind in our community, in the Black community. It just ain't it just does. Okay? That's right, checkmate. And it's sad. It really is. It's really sad. It ain't nothing good to me about seeing these Black men constantly killing each other. Memphis has a gang problem. It's a gang problem. And there needs to be some heads and some minds put together to dismantle this gang problem. Putting them in jail ain't doing a damn thing for them, because when they get out of jail or when they get in jail, they're just going to try to kill each other. Now you got all these different gangs in jail. Instead of killing each other on the outside of the jail, they're killing each other on the inside of the jail. So that ain't doing enough for them. There has to be something put in place to encourage these young people to dismantle these damn gangs. They got to give the gang life up. Okay? But if they feel like all they can do is be in gangs so they can control the turf so that they can sell drugs, that's what they're going to do. There has to be something put in place so that these young adults can learn some type of trade. Okay? It has to be something put in place. And so I got some plans. Okay? I got some plans. And one thing I know, I don't be worried about, I'll be glad, if I decide to run, I would love it for people to support me. But one thing I know, if I need the support of the masses of the people that will be in my district. Okay. I'm not interested in no cliques. I'm interested in coming together to try and help our people. But I mean, listen, I'm just not interested in no cliquish stuff that are not proactive. I'm not trying to have no meetings where it ain't nothing being discussed that ain't gonna be proactive to our community. I think that's the problem now, because I understand if God be for me, it don't matter who's against me. Justice for Dow says it starts from dismantling Trula Mafia, after all they done, they still running around teaching kids J Money and straight drop songs. Wow. Lord have mercy. Yours, truly Toya says, how many days they stand in line? 2 and 3 days. Girl, they stands in line 2 and 3 days and brag about it. Yeah. I stood in line for 20. I stood in line for 48 hours to get them new Jordans. I paid $500 for them, and you ain't even got no damn insurance policy on yourself or on your child. Okay. But they want to get on social media and brag about spending $600 for some Jordans or $500 for some Jordans. Okay. And if when you walk in your house, if you sneeze too hard, you'll fall through the damn floor. That's why I say our community got our priorities mixed up, and that ain't being judgmental. Hell, I'm saying some shit that should have been said in our community. I think people could try to spoon feed the Black community to keep us in bondage. Okay, some stuff got to be said to make us rethink a lot of this stuff that we're doing. Justice for Dog says they waiting outside for 2 days. Didn't talk to them for those 2 days in a year. I'm telling you, you sold like a leader to me. Thank you, OG Snake Spotter. And that's what we got to have. We got to have leaders that are unbought and unbossed, that are collaborating with the community, not on no BS either. Okay. So that we can get this thing right. They've got to be given they've got to be given other opportunities besides drugs. Absolutely. I got some things that I want. There's some things that I want to yeah. I got some plans for that. I've gotten some stuff. I got some stuff written down. And believe it or not, I got a couple of I got a couple people that's working with me. And I'll let you all know by next Friday if I am going to actually run. Okay. I'll let you all know by next Friday if I'm actually going to run for school board. There are some things that I've written down that I have in place that I want to do, but the whole school board has got to be revamped. That's it. It's got to be revamped. And then, I'm looking at some of these people that, especially running in my district. And, I don't have anything bad to say about anybody at all. But there, the young lady, I don't have nothing bad to say about her. I don't talk bad about other people like that. But you have to be very careful about, like, when in some, I'll just say generally in some of these districts, as I was saying earlier, if they feel like people are fed up with a certain person and they have been working for them, they'll saturate the race with 2 or 3 more people that's working for them. They're all on one accord. Okay. So that somebody can be in that position that's going to continue on what has been happening. Okay. I'm gonna just tell you now, in the race I'm in, I'm unbossed. Y'all already know that nobody owns me. So if you see my name on the ticket, I'm the one to vote for. Okay. I would be the one, Tamara Thompson. That would whatever if my district pop up and you happen to see my name, you already know. It ain't without a doubt. It's you're gonna click me. That's right, Toya. All of them gotta go. Cypress TV for City Council. Cypress, when are you going to accept your take Timu Craig his career and freedom almost over with? When you going to accept that little coward won't dare to revenge his rat brother. um, City Street says next Friday, the movie You on. Oh hell no, let me see. I would level up, but after what these people have retaught me driving this school bus, FC no, hit not. So are City Streets TV? Are you in Memphis? You drive the school bus. Are you in Memphis? Do you live in Memphis or you live in another city? Davin says Cyprus, the case is not over with. Oh, let me see if somebody called in because sometimes this phone won't ring if it's on oh, nobody has called. Um Cypress is just for Dolph. He won't revenge that. I agree. Plus he can't feds watching. Oh Lord. Oh wow. He said after Cornelia's sentence is over. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can support the channel via Cash App or you can hit the super thanks. As a matter of fact, let me put that up there so that you all can support the channel. I would prefer that you send a Cash App, but if you don't want to send a Cash App, you want to send a super chat, you could do that. Okay. I put a goal up. I'll be on for like 30 more minutes. Y'all, I'm off work tomorrow. I am so freaking happy. I wonder what happened. Y'all hit the like button for me. He says it's like God's like, let me send you through what you leveled up from and really see what's up. It's so effed up on this school system wide, but I used to see schools in Chicago shut down and now here. Cypress want his boy to be out so bad. And Cypress, I don't know why y'all so in denial about about Yo Gotti's part and what happened to Young Dolph. I don't know why y'all are so in denial. He said everyone who think that Justice Dolph should call in, put one in the chat. Well, I'm putting one in the chat, Cypress. I'm putting one in the chat. You said everybody that thinks it. He says, and I made sure in whichever God is at, he will be picked up. There is no money in the world, justice for Dolph. Cypress. Cypress. Now, Cypress, you already know that everybody already knows that Yo Gotti was the one that paid for the hit on Young Dolph. You had Manny say it. You had Quit say that there was some type of motive. You've had Quit say that the police told him that they didn't necessarily want him. They wanted Gotti and Juke because they knew they were the ones involved. I mean, so what makes you think that Gotti would get away with this? You had a person that was involved in the case that you know that the police had already said that they knew that Gotti was involved. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Yeah, I'm so happy. Oh my God. That I can rest tomorrow. The Louisville Streets cast coming soon with me doing just like Miss T and others, just reciting our lives. Oh, excuse me. He says, do they have enough to prove it? Really, I don't know. Well, you talk like you do know, Cypress. Y'all hit that like button for me. If you haven't hit the like button, please do hit the like button. I think I preached a sermon. So I'm gonna tell y'all how y'all gonna know if I decide to run. I will, if I decide, I'm gonna decide this week. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to drop a commercial. I'm going to produce my own commercial to let you all know what I'm running for and what district I'm running for if I decide to run. I'll know. I'll know by Wednesday if I'm going to. And then what I will start doing is start getting out and talking to the people. And I need for you all that are in Memphis, and I'll let you all know what district and what zip codes and what areas I will need you all to, if you don't live in those districts, to let your family know. Okay. To let your family know. And and all of that good stuff. We'll start putting some more stuff together. Neil says, I can't trust any man that wants to see any of Dolph's murderers get away. It tells me everything that I need to know. Tamara, don't be getting investments to run from hot rods. To run from hot rod before you get caught up. Who is hot rod? Hot rod. Justice for Dolph. Who is hot rod? Um. Oh, Mr. Oh, Mr. Cole. Okay. Devin says, Cypress, why when Dolph was in alive, you and the other guy was saying Pre ain't riding for Dolph, but Gotti can't ride for his brother because Fed's in town. What's the difference? Y'all, if y'all haven't hit the like button, please do hit the like button. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't start. These puppies be ready to start late. It's their bedtime, and they're ready to start. Y'all, it's been so cold in my house today, but it's 50 degrees outside. I ain't turned the heater on. My daughter mad at me because she wanted me to babysit, and I just kind of wanted to lay around today. I wanted to rest and recuperate while she get out. And I was like, I could, but my grandbaby was not gonna want to just lay in the bed. He says, I want to see these CMG slappies do a video about Manny and Luke and how they're lying on CMG, but they know those two. Saw the paperwork and CMG was all on it. Quit said that CMG was on um the paperwork. I mean, Quit spoke about CMG and what the police said to him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hit the like button for me. I'm kind of looking at the comments now. Let me turn my heater on. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Okay, you all, I'm back. I had to turn some heat on. It's just freezing in my house. I look forward to seeing the right side of karma fully spin. Yeah, make sure you all hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. Make sure you all please like, share, and subscribe. It says 75% of CMG label ain't made a profit since 2022. The artists are doing shows at fairs, high school reunions, and nightclubs for 2,500 each. Those are Brorilla prices. All 25,000 each. Um. Anyway, you all. How long have I been on here? Almost 2.5 hours. I think I said the gist of what I needed to say. Um, talk about change in our community. And that is definitely something that is needed all the way across the board in every state, all over the world, not just the United States, but like all over the world. Oh, let me see, y'all. No, Yeah, I want to show y'all my grandbaby. Let me show y'all my grandbaby. My sister did a little thing for her growing up. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of my fruity bar. That's when she was a baby. That's those are my two girls. That's her with my two daughters. Ah, it seems like yesterday that she was just a baby, and now she's 3 years old. She'll be 4 years old this year. So, and her Gigi, that's me. I'm her Gigi. I'm always ordering her Minnie Mouse and Daisy stuff. Like she loves Minnie. Anytime she see Minnie, she go Minnie, Daisy. So anything I see that's got Minnie Mouse and Daisy on it, I'm ordering it for her. Like I just ordered her off of Amazon. I saw a Minnie Mouse cap, um, sweater cap with the Minnie Mouse gloves, and she'll be able to wear them. She'll get it next year. And I ordered her some Minnie Mouse light up shoes to wear, and I ordered her some Daisy shoes to wear. I ordered her some Minnie and Daisy rain boots. Everything is Minnie Mouse and Daisy. I bought her a little picnic table with Minnie Mouse and Daisy on it to sit outside next on my balcony next to mine, so that she could be sitting at her little Minnie Mouse and Daisy table. When I start sitting out there, when it gets warmer. That's my little buddy. I just didn't feel like keeping her tonight because I have to watch her. She gets into stuff and I was just tired. Like I'm trying to recuperate because I've been tired for the last couple days. I need to see if I got some schoolwork because I haven't logged in for the last 2 days. So I need to make sure I don't have no schoolwork. If I do, I need to hurry up and do it right quick and get prepared. I am going, my job is sending me to some training, and I was looking at the I was looking at the hotel. Oh my god, it's so freaking beautiful. It is. And I cannot wait to go get that training. I need to look at the agenda of their training also. Stop. Um, this that's what I need to. I need to do that. Then I gotta go to up in Gatlinburg later on this year for some for my bail bond stuff. It is something like the bail bonding business is highly saturated with um, white bail bondsmen. Like, I think at the last training I was at, it was about 300 of us in the Tennessee area. Of course, that was just at that particular one though, but we was up in the mountains then. It was so beautiful. Oh my God, it was so beautiful up there. I just didn't like the drive and I gotta go back. I gotta go back. I took my mom with me and she loved it. We was up on like my hotel was like up on the fourth floor. It had a balcony. You could see like the mountains and stuff. So they was like, y'all be careful because it's a warm day and bears have been spotted. And even though you're up high, the bears will climb up high on the balcony. And it was just really nice. The only thing I didn't like about that area, they got them S curves and all of that. They have those S curves. And I need to start preparing some training for my nonprofit so that I can start training on some things as it relates to human trafficking and all of that and getting people certified on some stuff. That's some stuff that we're putting together. Um, yeah, but that'll be something that I'll look at doing um, around like September. I wonder how they know. They said on March the 3rd, the moon would turn blood red for 82 minutes. I wonder how they know that. They must gonna turn it blood red. How can they predict that the moon is gonna turn bloody red on March the 3rd for 82 minutes? It's got to be something that um people are, these people that go up to the moon doing. There's no way of them predicting it unless they doing it. I wish they'd stop going up there messing with the moon and the sun and all of that because I don't think they're going up there in space for nothing. I do believe that there's life on other planets also. So it ain't no telling what's going on when they up there, to be really honest with you. Um, yeah. Mm. Oh yeah, pink, purple. Because they know the moon's exact orbit and speed. Okay, they know the moon's okay. Y'all, believe it or not, I've been getting more into like I told y'all like I love looking at stuff like those documentaries. I felt so totally completely in love with looking at, I call them the people of the sea, like of the ocean. I love looking at whales. They are like highly intelligent. And whales, I believe it's the big blue whales, they have the intelligence of a 15-year-old boy. According to them, a 15-year-old child, rather. They're highly intelligent. I just love looking at like species in the ocean, especially whales, and how intelligent and smart they are. Um, I love looking at the animal planet. I love zebras. I've always loved zebras. And I love lions. Zebras and lions. I loved those documentaries. I think I started getting too sensitive on the lions documentaries. It started hurting my feelings to see the lions eat up, catch the prey and eat them and stuff. I started getting real sensitive to that. But I love looking at those types of documentaries. It's something different. I always have though. Because I remember when I was a teenager, my mama used to say, I am not looking at lions this weekend. I am not looking at lions this weekend. Because I could sit on the couch all day if they ran a marathon on cable and look at all of the documentaries on. I think I've seen them all. Even the ones on YouTube. I think I have seen them. I think I've seen all of the documentaries on whales. I just love stuff like that. That's the type of stuff that I like to sit alone and look at by myself. It is very amusing to me. And then after that, don't think I'm weird. I like to study the mind of serial killers, and like it's very fascinating to me to sit and read about. I had taken a class on that when I was taking criminal justice before I changed my major, and studying the minds of like serial killers. Um, I love psychology. I would never want to be a psychologist. I just like psychology because I just like it's amusing to me to be able to sit and size things and people up and kind of watch people, especially watching people when they're not guarded. That's very fascinating to me to sit back and watch people when they're not guarded, because that's you get the real person. But the things that people say, and sometimes I think I might be too deep because y'all see me get on here and I know that y'all go, she cuckoo. But I've studied so much about certain stuff. I watch what people do and what they say, and I go, oh my God, that's a characteristic of this, and that, you know. So I try not to get deep on here, real deep with y'all. But those are the types of things that I love to do. Oh my God, I love doing that stuff. Um, it's something to see how calculated people can be. I think a lot of people that are sane, and that could be each and every one of us. They're one shade from being insane, just one shade from being insane, with their thoughts, um, and stuff. Like it's really is something. That's why I tell people that you really have to take care of yourself. When you see yourself going into depressions, it's best to try to get some help. And sometimes, um, whatever it is that has taken you into a depression, like things like death and stuff, we can't help. But if you have something actively that is driving you into a depression, you need to take a step back. And a lot of times, you need to get yourself some help, because once that mind snaps, and it's not, I've seen it, people minds will snap. Once that mind snap, because your brain is overworked, Sometimes it's hard to find your way back to yourself. It really is. So, what you, hey, I tell people all the time, like, yeah, because you have people that will, you have people out there like that, that intentionally like to, they look for weak-minded people, and they intentionally like to put pressure um, on folks to overwork their brains to drive them insane. Hmm. So, yeah. But I, like I said, I think I like to study about the mind from a criminal standpoint. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like my thing. I like to study the mind from a criminal standpoint. That's very, you know, intriguing to me. I remember when I was studying, I think I had to do a project, um, and I had to do two. One of my projects was on Charles Manson, and one of them was on Ted Bundy. I studied everything about Charles Manson. It was just really, um, he was what you would call crazy, but he was highly intelligent, because what he did was he got a lot of people. And when he say I never killed anybody, he didn't. What he did was he got a lot of people that was looking for acceptance and that was rejected. That's why I say peer pressure is something else. A lot of people that you would consider misfits, and he accepted them, okay, and made them, well, he made them feel accepted, and he actually got them to go and kill people for him. So he was intelligent enough not to do it himself. Um, and I mean, I studied everything about that with Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was highly intelligent. He was in law school. He was a intelligent man, very smart. He was just sick. And looking at Ted's eyes, you could tell that Ted was sick. He was mentally sick. And he escaped prison. He escaped twice. They never would have found him. Like he would go. One of the times that he escaped, he was living in Florida, and just living his life in Florida, and they never would have found him. But Ted said himself, he said, after living in Florida for a few months, okay, he was working and everything, using another name, okay. He said he felt a urge. He was like he was doing good, and then he started feeling that urge to kill again. He was like he just couldn't fight that urge. And when a couple girls came up killed in Florida at a dorm, they knew it was him. They knew they knew that the similarities of the murders were those of the murders that he had did in the state that he had been in before. And that's when the police said, when they heard about it, they said that's Bundy. They knew he was a serial killer, so they kept checking to see. They didn't know that he went a whole year or so, as a matter of fact, I think, without killing. And he said after that he couldn't take it. Like he couldn't take it any longer. That urge just overpowered him. He had to kill. So you think about it, like people are like born. What makes a person like Ted Bundy um have those urges where they just have to kill? They have those animalistic like instincts. And I think that's the kind of thing that kind of scare me with, like, when we start talking about these killings in our community, and especially with our people, when we blame people talking about, well, they're snitches, they ain't supposed to tell when nobody killed nobody. Okay, they kind of, in the music, they kind of big up just murder and mayhem, as if, I mean, they're almost taking on characteristics of a sick serial killer. And what's so sad in our community is that they big that up. Yeah, I'm a Ted Bundy. They think it's something. Like, I mean, they look at it as having a badge of honor. They said, I'm like Ted Bundy. Yeah. Just really sick. So, St. Lucie, I loved it when Manson told the judge that the system was his father and that they raised him. I'm gonna tell you something, and I could be wrong. Like, I don't think I am though. I remember when Quit was on Terrence Gangster Williams show, and this was right after he was found not guilty. And so Gangster was like, I ain't gonna lie. I went on to I was in a young lady's chat, and she asked me did I think he was gonna get off. And I told her I didn't think he was gonna get out. I saw Quit. He said she wasn't disrespectful though. And I was looking at Quit's face. Quit knew exactly what he was talking about. He knew he was talking about me. And when Terrence said that, when he was mentioning me, I was looking at Quit's face when he mentioned me. I wish I could pull that up. And he had a look to come over his face when he brought me up as if I wish I could have took her out or something like that. Um Justice for Dog says, "Oh yeah, Quit knew immediately was you. Yeah, he knew it was me. I was looking at his face, like it was like a. Uh, I wish I could pull it. Let me see if I could find it. See, I like to study people's faces. They're. Let me show y'all. I don't know if I can find it because Terrence put up a lot of Terrence Gangster Williams interviews Hernandez Govan. If I could find it, it was for this might be it right here. This might be. This is it. Thing. Hold on. I want to pull it up, but I don't want gangsters to strike me. So I'm trying to listen until I get to the part. He said, "Go man won't ever address you or me just in case he needs to knock us off." Just my opinion. You might be right. I think this is the part. Let me see.
We don't even want you. And there you have it. And when I dipped through the hood, I thought it was a fishing expedition, to be honest, because I knew I was innocent the whole time.
Okay, walk me through like what were you doing? Were you eating peanut butter and jelly? Were you eating cereal? What were you doing when you got the news?
Well, actually, I had just dropped my son off at school. I dipped through the neighborhood, and when I dipped through the hood, I seen a couple Durangos behind me, and so a gangster street nigga gonna stay in his rear view. So I peeped him, and I made a couple turns, and I noticed they was on me. They tried to play it off, pulled in the old lady driveway on my street to try to make it seem like they weren't following me, but I knew damn well that they ain't know that old lady driveway that they pulled in, because I know her. And so I knew it was on then, so I hurry up and hit the block. I was on a high speed by myself. I was trying to hurry up and get to our car wash in the neighborhood where me and Ball and MJGB, and I pulled up. As soon as I hit the lot, they pulled in behind me, about 12 deep, about 12 cars deep, and there you have it.
So what do you think? What do you think led the prosecutor to even pursue charges against you?
Trying to reach, trying to achieve their ultimate goal. When I was indicted, they basically told me, we don't even want you. Basically, a casualty of war. And when they told me that, this shit really made me feel some way, because I'm like, man, y'all done derail my life, and you know, possibly trying to take me away for the rest of it. And you don't even want me. That was just the craziest shit I could ever heard dealing with the case.
Okay, although you know that you're innocent, what do you feel was the strongest piece of evidence?
I'll tell you. Yeah, a lot of the music is demonic inspired. A lot of the music is demonic. You sure have to be careful when you spoil these puppies, because with this particular one, when he was he was the oldest, but he was slow. He was still he wasn't even walking yet, and all the other ones had started walking. He was still scooting on his belly, and so what I started doing was I started putting him on my shoulder and rocking him, and and all of that. I treated him like he a baby. Now all he want to do is lay up under me and look in my face. Mhm. Anyways, you are. I'm getting ready to get off because I have some things that I need to do because I've been preoccupied for the last couple of days. Today and tomorrow, I need to get some stuff right. I need to get some boxes, and I got so much stuff and put some more stuff in storage. Anyways, listen, y'all. Make sure you all like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Angel. Listen, Angel the Real Boss. I overslept this morning. I did, but I will be back on my praying line in the morning. So make sure you all join in to the prayer line. It's Monday through Sunday. It's every day, and it's the name of the praying line is Strength for Today, and we're on from 7 a.m. until 7:15 a.m. So make sure you all get on so that we can touch and agree. Okay. I want y'all to have a happy Sunday. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I hope that you all had a good love day, whether you was with your family or your significant other or just a friend. Okay. I kind of hung out with a friend and it was just a friend. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's good to like hang out with just mutual friends. Okay, it's good to hang out with mutual friends. I think it's so much easier like when it ain't nothing going on. um, you could sit and trip and have fun and talk and all of that good stuff without all of that other stuff. Anyway, sure, I love you all. Y'all have a good night.